Hi guys, I'm back and I'm just here to come and pop in just to say that I have a job now, and that job is be, be working as a CNA. So I'm just here to discuss how I got the job, where I found it, how did I prepare for this, and the hours that I will be working. So basically, I'll be starting work tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. to 3, and this job is full time, so I'll be working mostly the whole week with 2 days off, exceptionally. So basically, I found this job on Craigslist, and I I've been looking at a job ever since before I even finished the school and before I even got my certification and passed it. But it took me 2 weeks after I passed my exam, and from those 2 weeks I started looking for jobs on Craigslist, and I was also sending out my resumes through email for hospitals and nursing homes that were hiring, but they're not hiring, I guess, because they never contacted me back. But there was this job that I applied for before I even got this position that I'll be doing. So this position was a CNA, and it's a part the CNA that I applied before was CNA part-time, and basically I went over there and just applied. I filled out the application, and then when I finished up finishing up my application, I turned it in at the receptionist to get an interview. And I was waiting, like strolling along, just sitting down quietly, and out of nowhere, this guy came out of his room, the person that is in charge of the food service coordinator, and he called my name, and I was like kind of wondering, like, what, like, and I told him, like, he asked me, what are you applying for? I said I'm applying for CNA. And then he looked at me saying, oh, because your application was in the under my stack, under the food server. And then he was like, are you familiar? I was like, no. And then he went to talk to the director of nursing, to, I guess, to mention about why my application was there. So technically, the reason why they put my application at the food service stack because I didn't have experience. But I did have experience, but the thing is that I didn't put it on the application because I think what employment means to me is that you are working as a CNA and getting paid. I didn't put my volunteer, and guess this is like my first time trying to apply for jobs, so I wouldn't know. So then I guess I didn't get the position as a CNA, but I had an interview to become a food server part time, and it was $8 an hour. I was just like, when I react. So I was like looking at her like I don't know. And then I just went on with, I was just rolling along, and I just rolled, and I just got the interview, and then I was just brushing things off, like about what happened. And so I just got interviewed for the food server, and then I just left afterwards. And I don't even think I'll be getting a job as a food server because of the mistake, and you know. But anyways, yeah, and to prepare for this, I created a resume. I combined my resume with the school that I went to train as a CNA, I combined them, like basically the first portion of um the school's resume I took, and then the rest of my resume I just reworded everything and then just added I had the CNA training, and I also added in under the experience that I had clinical rotation. So that's basically I got that job, and then I got the job because I felt I was determined, because when the posting for this job was on Craigslist, right? And I kept refreshing the website, and then guess what? Some um a certified nursing assistant was being hired. So I clicked on it, and then so I automatically got ready. I left and then went to the facility and applied. And I was supposed to see the person that was supposed to ask me questions, but it was kind of late because it was like around 5 o'clock that I finished the application process. And I don't know what's going on with this, but like lately, the applications that I've been applying for this CNA position, they require you to take a test. I think one of the tests was like the same thing as the state exam. One of them was about like scenarios, like what would you do, and then the other one were like vocabulary. Like what is like I don't know. I'm just saying like they're making you take a test. And then even though I already took a test and I passed the exam, and yeah, I just wanted to like say that if you guys have like an experience with that for applying for the CNA position or anything like with nursing, just let me know, because that's kind of weird. Like, uh, who does that? Like, they make you take a test. But anyways, so I went there and then I took the test, and then it took a while, so I turned it in at the receptionist. So she was like, "Oh, you have to come back tomorrow. The person that's supposed to see you is not here." So I was like, "Okay, I'll be here at 9." So okay, so I'll be there at 9. So I went. I woke up early the next day, and I got an interview, a small little interview, and then it was really laid back. She was really chill. She was like, but even though she was chill, I took this really seriously because I really want this, and it's good for my experience. And basically it was all laid back. She didn't really ask questions that were interview skills, but she just told me about what to expect when you get this position, the time, the position that's being open, which is morning, which I took. And then she was just telling me about like you have to accommodate us, we can't accommodate you. So if you want this job, you have to just go with us with the role. And then after that, I guess I got hired already, but because she was already trying to call for an appointment to get my physical the same day, which I believe was yesterday. I got my physical yesterday. They told me to go to this medical center and get my physical. I did that, and then I went home and then waited the next day, because the next day, which was today, was orientation. And orientation was basically they showed us a video about how to care for patients, how to like basically how what you watch during your training at school. So it was that kind of setting, and then after that, the human resources, while the movie was running, she was talking about the employment packet, which is our Bible, and then we had to sign our things, we had to sign papers. It's crazy because this is like the most signatures I've ever wrote in my life, because the employment packet was this thick, with a lot of information on it. So she just um run each page like what a summary, and then but I couldn't. That's too much to grasp. So I good thing they made us take a copy home. So if we have any concerns or questions, we get to look back to it. And that's about it. And then today, um, the lead CNA that's in charge of hiring, she toured us around the facility, the nursing home, basically some tips on how you could do things and like codes and where the utility, the where the things at, the fire hydrant, the shut off gas, the emergency water, like she showed us all that. So the orientation took like 3 hours. And then now I got the position. And like even though this experience so far as trying to get this job, I was throughout the process I was really humble, and prayer does wonders because if like even though I wanted the night shift, which I did because I was registered for classes in the morning and I only have one night class, so I think that's the only class I'll be taking next semester since I'll be doing this morning shift work. And I still prayed that I got the position and I'll be starting this career and the experience on just helping other people, which I really love. But anyways, yeah, like prayer does a lot, so do that. And also I gave a lot of my compassion when I was being asked questions. Like I you just have to know how to answer the questions with knowledge, because if you know what you're saying and they feel that you're confident, they're gonna not think you're gonna be confident when you're working. So I was like that. I was just using a lot of hand gestures because that's me. And what else? Yeah, I'm just really excited that I'll be starting tomorrow, and I need to stock up on scrubs. But for like I believe for the first 3 days I'll be using white scrubs, the scrubs that I used during my schooling for this to become a CNA. And that's about it. And if you guys have any questions, like I know it was a lot of information to throw out there, but just ask me anything and I'll hear from you guys back. And okay, bye you guys.